And
Hello!
welcome to My Xbox and Me. I am one of your hosts, MC Fixer, alongside the one and only Too Fresh Crash. Crash, how are you?
Hello, I'm doing good.
Can we get your best hello, please, Crash?
Oh man, it comes from like the
It's up
deep down
here.
inside. Yeah, it's up here.
Right here, right in this area. If you're not watching the video, you're gonna want
Hello!
to. There we go.
That's all I got.
And if you didn't hear it,
pretty good one.
it was Matt P doing the hello for some weird reason. He decided he wanted to jump in, so we'll allow him. And Matt P video. Matt, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's Christmassy. I'm feeling Christmassy. I got my
That's-
jumper on.
Christmas jumpers for everyone.
Nope.
Crush.
Yeah.
For if there's a new listener, someone who doesn't understand why you're not actually a Grinch, like why no Christmas jumper? What the hell?
Didn't celebrate Christmas growing up.
Yep.
That's pretty much it. No Christmas jumper. This is the first year that we've had a Christmas tree.
This is the first. Oh, what in your actual house?
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
so why is it changing? Why is it changing?
So we had a get together with a bunch of family like this past weekend.
Yeah.
And my sister wanted to do it. Cousins specifically, like our age.
Yeah.
So my sister wanted to do like a Christmas themed gift together when we got the tree and everything. My sister kept saying it's a New Year's tree because where we're from in Albania, they do like New Year celebrations. Like that's what they do for Christmas now. Instead of celebrating Christmas, they celebrate New Year's. They get their kids gifts and all that type of stuff. So my sister kept saying it's a New Year's tree. Yeah, well then why do we have the New Year, all the Christmas ornaments? What are those? No, those are New Year's ornaments. What are you talking about?
So is this like a parent thing? Like your parents were like, "Yo, fuck your Christmas, kids. We celebrate in New." Obviously, I understand it's a culture thing, but obviously,
Yeah.
you're in America. Christmas is absolutely humongous in America. Like, did they just say, "Fuck you, kids. You ain't getting Christmas,"
So-
or what?
My parents always said like we don't celebrate Christmas, we celebrate like the New Year holiday.
Yeah.
But then we didn't celebrate the New Year holiday. We were just like, we didn't have money growing up. So my parents like, I'm not getting these kids gifts.
Yeah, got you.
We just don't celebrate Christmas. So
Okay.
that's like where you cut it off. You
All
know?
right, all right. Well, Matt P, you are you're the whitest of all white Englishmen I know. To be honest with you, Matt. If you were any whiter,
even
you'd be the Milky Bar kid. I mean, you're in England, so you're English to me. All right.
To be fair, and I should dig this out, when I was like probably 4 or 5, I looked exactly like the Milky Bar Kid.
I can
Like, it was
imagine-
like a thing. It was a thing.
I can see it. I'll be honest with you. So wait, you're actually Welsh, right?
Yeah. So I am currently back home in Wales visiting the fam, hence the change of scenery.
By the way, anyone who's listened to this podcast who's never listened to an episode, this is not the one for you, okay? This isn't the one for you. If you've come off the street and just stumbled across our podcast, this isn't the episode for you. And so wait, are you fully Welsh?
Yeah, but basically, yeah. Like my one nan on my dad's side is English from London. But yeah, basically fully Welsh.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, man.
Fuck.
I grew up like right on the border. Like Abergavenny is like called the gateway to Wales. Like it's pretty much right on the border. It's like half an hour, 40 minutes from Bristol, and so we don't have that much of an accent here. But yeah, the massively stereotypical thing of sort of moving away from your parents' house and them turning your old room into a gym has kind of half happened. And so I'm currently sat on an exercise bike in my old bedroom, which is why you might see my sort of lower half cycling every now and again.
Oh my god.
Just getting in some reps, you know?
So can we just give I will say I'm dedicated to the podcast. Like we never miss a week. It's very important. Crash gets up at stupid o'clock in the mornings to do this podcast sometimes. I've done it from a hospital bed. I've done it half dead, literally. Matt P has gone to his old school bedroom and sits on an exercise bike. He has got himself an Elgato microphone that he's holding, by the way, because he hasn't got the mic on with it. And I've just got to say, you better appreciate this week's my episode of My Xbox and Me, which is our weekly Xbox podcast here on youtube.com/My Xbox and Me and across all podcast services. I have to give credit where credit is due. I have to.
Yeah.
I have to. So, I was on Spotify the other day. As always, look at those eyebrows. Chill out, Matt. I was on Spotify and I saw that they added ratings to Spotify.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, cool. I can't wait to tell everyone, wait to tell the boys about this so we can get everyone to rate us on Spotify. Obviously, I went and clicked the Spotify. It was like, oh, you don't listen to the podcast on Spotify. Sorry, you can't review it. I was like, well, that sucks. I went off and finished my day. Matt P, on the other hand, is an absolute devious genius. Devious genius, I have to say. So, everybody, listen up. I need you to do me a favor. Download the Spotify podcast app. Go to my Xbox and me. Hit subscribe, number one, because obviously that helps us. Then I need you to go to the cog, right? Matt, take us away here, fam. Like, you are the majestic, magical monster in this one.
I was a little bit concerned maybe it's a different process on Android, but I don't think it is. I think it's the same. So whether you're on iPhone or Android or whatever you're on, you can hit the settings wheel cog on Spotify when you're in the My Xbox and Me page. You can mark all episodes as played, and then it will let you give it a rating. And you can just do that. And then you can give it a 5-star rating, and we appreciate you very, very much.
Matt, honestly, it blew my mind. I was like, what? You could just... Crash, are you doing it now?
No, I already did it.
Oh, okay. I was about to start going off on everybody.
The reason I figured it out actually is because I do listen occasionally on Spotify to listen back to stuff, and so I was able to do it fine. And then went onto my girlfriend's phone because
as you do, legend.
We gotta hack this stuff, and couldn't do it. And I was like, man, that sucks. Similar to you. And then was looking through and was like, oh, you can just mark everything as played, easy.
Sweet.
Which is actually nice anyway, because then it gets rid of the notification bubble and you're fucking golden. It's great.
We need you to pay attention to that notification bubble. We're the reason we need notifications, Matt.
Sure.
All right? We need those. God,
100%.
You suck. If you want the show early...
But these people are listening elsewhere anyway.
Of course. If you want the show early, head over to patreon.com/mcfixer. We are still yet to have our meeting that we were meant to have to talk about the plans for the new year. Life is just weird right now. We will have
Christmas.
it.
It's busy enough.
No, I've learned. You know what it is? I've learned that next year I have to actually operate like a business. Like MC Fixer, My Xbox and Me, they are technically businesses. Yeah. Next year I actually have to operate like one. Matt, you have taught me so much. Where you're like, yeah, I'm going on holiday. I'm not gonna be here. And I'm like, huh. That sounds like a good idea. I should do that. Or even like down to like this week, you're like, I'm off for Christmas. Leave me alone. And I'm like, that sounds like a good idea. So I think what we'll do next year.
Well,
go on.
Yeah, so go on.
No,
my Christmas plans have been, well, not blown up in smoke, but I do now have to actually work this Christmas. And so it's more of a leave me alone, I'm working than I'm taking a Christmas break stuff.
I think next year, this episode is a Christmas special, pretty much. We're going to talk about some Christmassy stuff. Crash, I apologize. We're gonna, it's Christmas. We celebrate. Crash, we will talk about New Year's Day for you on New Year's Day.
No stories for that either.
God damn it. But what we'll do next year, I think, is we'll put them in the can. We'll actually give people a break on the week leading up to Christmas, because I guess that's what people do, you weirdos. I could tell you like self-employed. Come on.
I don't think
I'm here.
No,
I'm excited.
I know.
And the listeners want something to, because all their podcasts probably start on Christmas Day. Not start.
We're gonna put an episode out on the 24th of December. If you are one of the husbands or wives out there wrapping your presents last minute while listening to My Xbox and Me, we expect a photo. Please at us, at MC Fixer, at Matt P Video, at Kreshnik Plays, at My Xbox and Me. Use the hashtag MXAM. If you are wrapping presents last minute of Christmas and you're listening to the show, let us know. All right, lads, that's enough bull rubbish in the front of this. I'm going to try not to swear as much. I've already sworn a lot, but, I do what I do. Shout out to our Patreon producers, Aaron Guard and FNH Paul. I hope you boys are having a wonderful Christmas. Topic of the show. Matt P. Does not have to be Xbox related, hence why the Xbox podcast is My Xbox and Me. The me part of this comes in here. Any Christmas memories? Like any memories of you being a youngster, getting some presents?
Yeah, I remember getting my Wii for Christmas. And that being
Oh.
like quite a big deal at the time because
You couldn't get
they
them.
was like scared. They were as scarce as the PS5
Yep.
is now. Like
Yeah.
it was kind of crazy for that first Christmas. But like just being quite special. Like I ended up selling it for a 360, and that's like how I got into the Xbox ecosystem. But that was sort of a ways down the path there. And I think yeah, like having Nan over on Christmas Day and like playing Wii bowling and stuff was like a thing that I never would have thought would have happened. You know, it's like, oh yeah, my Nan's playing video games with me. This is bizarre. But that was what the Wii was all about, right?
The Wii was a
crazy.
weird console, right? Because obviously it was a game console, obviously, and stuff. But I never used it as like my main console. Like most of my Nintendo consoles, it's never my main. It's the one that comes out to play with when there's something fun. Like Mario, it's my Mario Party machine, really. If I'm being totally honest with you, or Mario Kart, or Smash Bros, and yeah, obviously those are video games. But I play it so loosely that I forget about it for long periods of time. The one that comes to mind for me is, I have to say, is my PS2. I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember saying to my mum and dad, I want a PS2 for Christmas, them being like, ha ha ha, we're poor, you've got no chance, mate. And me being like, okay, well, I'm going to save up and buy it myself then. I don't care. So I remember that Christmas, I had asked everybody for money. And my brother, I've got a half brother the exact same age as me. I remember him giving me a Christmas card that Christmas on Christmas Day, and it had 50p in it. He's like, oh, that's to go towards your PlayStation 2. And I'm like, oh, thank you so much, gassed, obviously, not understanding that a PS2 was like £250, like whatever it was then. And I just thought, well, they've said no, I'm not getting it. There's no chance.
Yeah.
And I remember them doing the thing they used to do, which is weird. Again, I've got such a weird family dynamic because my mum and dad are not together. Like, I've never really been together, but then always been together. You know, life is weird out here. And I remember, like, my mum, I had to wait for my brother to come over before I could open presents, and he was at his mum's house, and we had to wait for my dad to turn up. He was just sort of sitting there, anxious as all hell. He was like, God, I just want my presents. And I remember, like, my dad coming in with more presents, and I was like, oh, well, looking at him like, well, none of those are the shape of a PS2, so, okay, this is definitely not happening. And I remember the moment my mum opened the curtains, and it was just sat there behind the curtains, and I was just like, oh, like, it was wrapped, so I just cracked it open. I was like, oh, I've got one. No games. Just demo discs. So my dad used to work.
What more do you need?
My dad used to work at Dixon's. In the UK, there was a place called Dixon's that ended up getting bought out by Curry's, which is now PC World. I know. Weird. Oh no, other way around. It was bought out by
I think so.
Curry's, which then bought out PC World, which is whatever. It doesn't matter. So I remember he just accumulated like all these demo discs, and we just like, yeah, we didn't get you any games, but here you go. And there was like, I had loads of demo discs, and I was just like, I've got all the games in the world. Look at me.
To be fair, back then you can survive off demo discs.
Bro, I never beat a video game until the Xbox 360. Like,
wow.
That's a fact. Like, because again, I had such a weird child. My dad went on to own game shops, as both of you probably already know. And my consoles had come in and out of my life a lot. I'd have a GameCube, a PlayStation, and I remember when I got my original Xbox, because my PS2 had been sold to a customer, and it was like, here's an original Xbox with a Duke controller and a copy of Hulk. And I'm like, bruh, I don't want this. Like, what the hell? But yeah, demo disc back in the day, though. I remember, Abe's Odyssey. I think the Bouncer was on one of those, and I ended up getting the Bouncer I remember, I think, did they not have Final Fantasy? One of the Final Fantasies on a demo disc at one point. And
I think I remember having a Final Fantasy game on a demo
yeah,
disc.
I think it was 10, if I'm not remember, because I remember Blitzball.
It's
maybe, I don't know.
It might not have been. Again, it could be. You know what it's like with this history of memories where like you mix it all up in your head, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But
I'm
yeah,
pretty
like,
sure I remember having a SSX Tricky or SSX,
yes,
one of the SSX.
Definitely one of the
demo disc,
SSX.
for sure.
Definitely. I remember there was a BMX game on there as well. Like, just so I had like a plethora of all these games that I thought that was what games were. Like, I didn't understand that a game Tony Hawk's Pro Skater didn't run out of time. Like, and you could start you over again. I didn't understand that. But yeah, that's the one that sticks out in my head the most. And then obviously the Xbox One it was a weird one. Haley was a university student. I was broker than a university student at the time. And I remember when she bought me my Xbox One, that wasn't so much for Christmas, but it was a Christmas present. So I remember that being obviously a fond memory. Matt, what does a Christmas look like for you? Like, were you one of the, again, we've all got very different upbringings, right? So were you one of those kids that didn't really get games throughout the year until it was like birthdays and Christmases, or how did it work for you?
Yeah, 100%, yeah, and that is pretty much all I would get.
Yeah.
Like for like Christmas and my birthday, I'd maybe get 2 games, right? Like one off my nan and one off my parents, or like a joint one off my sister and my nan, or whatever it was, right? And so yeah, that's pretty much how it went. I mean, maybe I shouldn't admit this, but I think the
pirate scene,
enough time has passed. Yes, 100%. My PlayStation 2 was chipped.
Yeah, mine too.
And so games, I think I want to say games were like £2 a pop.
I remember
from this place we used to get them.
I used to my again, I knew a guy and he would do like a $5 for like 3 different games. And I was like,
yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, I've got Resident Evil, whatever.
But I remember always still having this thing in my head of like, still waiting for my birthday, still waiting for Christmas for games. And I remember like distinctly once asking my dad for a new game, and he was like, oh yeah, just pick like 10. Yeah. It's fine. And it was like a random time, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't know this was possible because of piracy, which don't do, kids.
But but it's so strange to me how piracy back in the day, at least for me, obviously I was a kid, but my parents had like, they didn't care. Now I'm sitting here almost 30 and like I'm lecturing people when I find out they like, what do you mean you stole Spider-Man the film? Go to the cinema and support these like now I'm like the old fogey, like I can only imagine what I sound like. Like it's like, shut the hell up, you were doing the same thing.
Well, I mean, it's nigh on impossible now, right? Like, I mean, a lot of the games the kids are playing are free to play anyway, like Halo or Fortnite or whatever. And then what? You're going to try and... Oh, I mean, I'm sure plenty of kids have been scammed out of their V-Bucks or spent an absolute fortune on stuff like that, but... Go on, Crash.
You can, certain games, I know for League of Legends, I don't know if it's still possible, but you could run something in the background that would let you use whatever skin you want for the characters.
Oh, okay.
Oh, interesting.
Even if you never bought the skin, you can use it.
Is that the new thing? Is that the new scam?
I don't know if it's still doable. I remember seeing this like a year or 2 ago.
Call of Duty, people are like, look, I got the 1,000 headshots or whatever. It's like, actually, I'm just running that app in the background on my PC to let me have this. Like, what the hell?
Well, I mean... People are still doing modded lobbies, right, to rank up their guns insanely quick and stuff like that. And it's not really piracy, I guess, but like it's evolved, right?
It's evolved.
It's kind of like for the free to play game. That I think that would be pretty similar to it. No.
So, Crash, my question for you would be like the same thing, but like, how did obviously we now know you didn't have Christmas and you didn't have New Year's Day and you didn't have Hanukkah either. Like, damn. Yeah. Like, where was you getting your games as a kid?
As a kid, so. We would get $5 a day for school, me and my brother.
Oh, okay.
For like lunch and whatever.
Yeah.
We wouldn't buy lunch. I just wouldn't buy lunch or whatever. 100%. And we would just save up money and we would buy games. That's what we would do. We'd go to the Best Buy. Not Best Buy. We'd go to a Blockbuster way back when that was a thing near us. And you'd go there and they'd sell like used games and all this stuff. And they constantly do sales, buy 2, get 1 free or whatever.
Yeah.
So we would take like weekly or bi-weekly trips or whatever, go there, like how much money we've saved, like what can we buy, what can we get? And sometimes when we'd save up a little bit more, there was a GameStop that would be a little bit farther away. It's a bit of a walk, but they got a better selection than
it was worth it, baby.
We got Ninja. So me and my brother are like 13 or 15 at the time. I think maybe a little bit younger, maybe. And we go there. We get Ninja Gaiden, which is a rated M game, and we wait online. We get to the front of the line. We give the guy the game, and he's like, "This is rated M game. I really can't sell this to you." And he's like, he looks behind him and he's like, "Do any of you guys got a license?" Some random person shows his license. I'm like, "Cool, I'll sell you guys the game. I saw a license. That's all I needed."
So funny to riff off that story. I remember, so there was a game station. So again, I grew up in a place called Woolwich, and my mum works across the road at my mum, my aunt, and my godmum all work across the road in a Clark's, which is a shoe store. And I remember the guy's name, Johnny. I went into a game station to buy San Andreas when that came out. And I remember him being like, no, it wasn't. It was GTA 4. It wasn't San Andreas. It was GTA 4. And I remember Johnny being like, I can't sell you this. And he sort of looked at himself and went, oh, I'll buy it for you. I'm 18 now. And I was like, cheers, mate. I appreciate you. So he literally read his own ID. It's like, here you go. And I was like, this is why you're allowed to walk around Woolies like you own the place, because I've got a copy of GTA 4 and you don't. Suck it. Absolutely madness. Yeah, for me, Christmas, like, games, again, I had such a weird Christmas. So the story for my Xbox 360, I think I've told this before. I probably have, but if you're new to the show, maybe you've not heard it. I remember I wanted the SmackDown versus Raw 2000 and whatever year it was then, box, because my dad had it in the shop. So now I'm an adult, I understand what he did. So he broke open this box, took the copy of SmackDown vs. Raw out, put a Pro Evolution Soccer copy in of the box, Pro Evolution Soccer 6, I believe it was, shut the box up, gave it to me Christmas. I thought I was getting Pro Evolution Soccer and SmackDown. Oh no. And I got told the reason afterwards, because my brother doesn't like wrestling.
So you have to have a game for both of you, 100%.
That's some bullshit, Matt P. That's some bullshit.
It's funny that you say that, actually, because I bought my Xbox 360 secondhand, and I got the WWE version of the Xbox 360.
I've still got that box.
WWE on the front.
I still have that box.
I think I probably have somewhere. Yeah. I think I probably have somewhere.
Yeah, come on. You know.
Small world, eh? Small world.
What other Christmas memories have I got? It's weird because, like, my Christmas memories of, like, they as I got with Haley, who I've been with now for 11 years almost, like, my Christmases became more about, like, content creation, like, tools. It was like, can I get some lighting? And can I get some, and obviously as I've grown bigger, I've not needed as much gaming stuff. And she really struggles with that, because now, obviously, I'm a big baby and I have everything that I want in this world, which is like a great PC. I'm very, 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 very privileged to be in the position I am, where getting games, I reach out to publishers for games now, so buying games kind of seems a little bit silly because I'm just covering them all the time. Consoles, accessories, I've got partners for all this stuff. She's just like, you've ruined, like, Christmas for me, for buying for you. And I'm like, it's not my fault. I just, I wanted to make this a job. I'm sorry. So this Christmas, the only thing I want, I'm not going to get it. I know I'm not going to get it. But the only thing I want this Christmas is an Oculus. I really want an Oculus Quest 2. Like, I don't know why I want it so bad. And I'm a grown-ass adult with money. I could literally buy one tomorrow if I wanted it.
There's something special about getting it for Christmas, though. I get you.
Do you know what I mean? It's just, for me, I'm like, I really want one. Krish, do I need this? No. Absolutely not.
But that's why you won't buy it for yourself, because if you buy it, you're gonna underuse it. But if you get it as a gift, the few times you use it will be special.
It's not even just that. It's the guilt I'll have every time I don't use it, and Haley will look at me and go, "Was it worth it? Was it worth it?" And I'll go, "No, it wasn't. It wasn't worth it."
Also, though, if you buy it for yourself, it's a business expense.
That's true as well.
Get a gift for Christmas.
That's true as well. That is true as well. But
what I was going to say is,
yeah,
it is getting harder to buy people gamers presents anyway. I feel like, because, like, the digital stuff now, like on the PlayStation, if you have an all digital PlayStation, there's no way I can't buy Emma a game. I can't, like, gift her a game to her profile. I can't.
But you can on Xbox, Matt.
That game.
Get her an Xbox. Simple.
I know you can.
We got him, guys. Don't worry. I'll keep this podcast Xbox related. I got you guys.
Well, I was going to say, at least Xbox still do it.
Yes.
It's super pain in the ass now when PlayStation did that.
He said do.
Do.
Oh, Crash. Oh, we didn't mention Crash's haircut. So I guess we should mention that. Is this for Christmas or what?
Well, we talked about it so much before the podcast.
This is for New Year's. Okay, so New Year's.
I just needed a haircut. My haircut was getting a little wild and hard to manage.
Bro, my beard is there right now. Honestly, I'm like, I need to do something about this.
Throw it out.
This is as long as it will ever get. Ever. Well, I'll never.
Santa Claus beard.
I'll never shave it off. I can't believe how ugly I was beforehand. Yeah.
You should not shave until Final Fantasy VII comes to Xbox.
Ooh, that would be great.
I can't. I do too much TV stuff and stuff like that. I have to look respectable. No way.
Yeah, fair.
I'm trying to think of anything else Christmas related.
Well, what I was going to say, do you have any games that come to mind that just make you feel Christmassy? Because I was going to say there aren't any good ones, really, are there? They're not. I mean, I would say It Takes Two. There is definitely a section in It Takes Two.
Look at this. I'm telling Chris to shut the fuck up, not you, Matt P, just so you're aware.
Okay.
Because if he says what I think he's going to say, he's getting punched through the screen, I swear.
I don't know what you think I was going to say.
What was you going to say?
I was going to just mention that there was a Grinch game I played that was Christmas themed.
What, you thought he was going to say Killer Instinct? This is
No,
great.
I thought it was going to... I thought...
Killer Instinct's a good one. They have Christmas outfits in Killer Instinct. That's
Every
a really
game's got
good
Christmas
one,
outfits. That doesn't count. No, I thought he was going to mention Dead Rising 4. Because that game is all based around
yes,
Christmas.
that's Christmas themed. Yes. Dead Rising 4 is for sure a Christmas game.
That is a Christmas game.
Christmas games suck. Let's be honest. Christmas games aren't like Christmas movies where people have favorite Christmas movies.
I think Christmas movies suck.
They do. They do. They definitely do.
Have you ever seen Jingle All the Way, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and the kid from The Phantom Menace?
No, I have not.
Oh my god, dude! Seriously, it is a trip.
It's not.
It is great. It is phenomenal. Oh, it is phenomenal. It's all based around the and then like we were talking about the Wii. Like there's toy shortages at Christmas. But it's actually based around when Toy Story originally came out, and Woody and Buzz figures were like really difficult to get.
Yeah.
And it's kind of based around that, and it's hilarious. And it's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Is it after like some sort of action figure or something that he's trying to get?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Arnold Schwarzenegger at one point dresses up as said action figure. Or am I crazy about that?
Wow, spoilers, Chris. Jeez.
My bad. I apologize. I've seen bits and pieces of that movie. That movie is not worth watching.
The CGI does not hold up.
Wait, Chris, but have you got like a favorite Christmas film, though you don't celebrate Christmas? Or not?
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's fair.
I don't know. I don't like holiday movies in general. I
don't like themes.
I like Halloween movies, but I don't really like movies in general. Also.
I like scary films. I don't like Halloween films. Like,
got it.
Love to watch
so no
like
Hocus Pocus for you. No Halloween Town.
I don't like no. Neither of those two. I think my favorite Christmas film would probably be. Haley makes me watch The Grinch every year. We have to watch The Grinch every single year.
That's a good one.
We have a real moment about the Grinch.
Trash.
They did my boy the Grinch dirty.
Yeah, he's like
They
Jar
make him
Jar,
seem like the villain.
It's true.
But the reason he is the way he is because everybody in that town treats him like shit.
Yep.
Let's be honest.
That's facts.
His heart doesn't grow 4 times at the end of that movie. It just returns to its normal state.
That's facts. Spit them bars, Crash. Spit them bars.
What did you do in the Grinch game? Because I have a very foggy memory of having had a Grinch game.
I had a
platform.
demo disc for the Grinch game.
Hey, there we go. Bring it back.
Yeah, you would like ruin posters and stuff like that. I think you would go around and ruin Christmas if I remember correctly.
Was it first person? I
can't tell you.
Bro,
I can't tell you either way. I don't really remember.
We have the fucking internet. We have to find out right
we do
now.
Have the internet.
We have the internet. Let me find out.
I'm in rural Wales. I barely have the internet. It's a miracle that this podcast is happening, quite frankly.
Was it on PS1?
It was PS2.
I
At least
PS2,
the one I remember
it could have been one.
PS2. It could have been one as well.
No, yeah, it looks
what
like
I was going to say
PS1.
as well is I remember having a South Park game, and I don't even know if it was Christmas themed, but that was a first person shooter essentially.
Matt,
but it was just snowing, so you know.
It's not first person; it's third person. But it looks like you go first person with like binoculars when you throw snowballs at people.
Yes,
That's what I'm remembering.
yes.
That's what I'm remembering.
All I'm saying is, usually I think you guys are absolute schmucks on this podcast. But the fact that you two come together to talk about the Grinch game, you're getting a raise. I want you both to know you're getting a raise, okay?
From 0 to 0, let's go.
Woo. I mean, damn, exposing me. Jesus. All right, I'll say no more. We can move on unless I'm trying to think of games like other Christmas games. That's it.
That's what I was struggling with. All I'm thinking of
like,
is games with snow levels, and I don't think that counts.
Even like, honestly, thinking even to Halloween games, I don't think there's many Halloween games. Like a lot of games fall into that territory by them being like more horror type of games and having more of that spooky element to it. But I don't think there's even many Halloween games.
No. Like I'm thinking of like Spyro has like relatively big snow sections and stuff, but I don't think
Yeah.
Bully,
necessarily specifically
Bully,
Christmas, like.
Bully has that Christmas
Bully
level
does.
chapter. That's yeah.
All of the Harry Potter games.
Batman apparently has his like is Christmas set on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Origins, the best Batman game of all.
The problem with making a game a holiday theme is like you have to release it during that holiday, and we know games don't work that way. Like
No.
you have to be very loose with the release window.
I think you could do it though. I think if a little indie studio, Celeste even, like I'm thinking of now, but like it's not necessarily Christmas, but it's just knowing.
The problem with an indie studio is like if it's not ready by that date, and you're like, I need another 3 to 4 months before we can release this, and you want to make it a Christmas game, you still have to wait out.
Yeah, you
And
push it a
that's
year,
time-
100%.
But the problem with that is that's time where you don't have a game out and you aren't necessarily working on it. That would be harder for an indie studio, I feel like, than a big studio.
I get that it's a totally different ball game, right? But like some musicians make their entire career off of one song. That is like Mariah Carey, right? Like I know she's been.
Whoa! Slow down. No, we're not having Mariah Carey slander like that. No way.
She could retire off of that one song. Is my point.
Yes, but that isn't what you said, Matt. And Matt, words have meanings, all right? And you won't be disrespecting Mariah Carey on this podcast, all right?
Fair enough. And it's harder to do with the game because it's a bigger commitment. Yada yada yada. But I feel like if some studio brought out a little 2-hour Christmas game that somehow encourage you to come back Christmas after Christmas. Maybe it's a co-op game so that you play it with somebody and it's like a Christmas memory that you have year after year.
The difference with Mariah Carey is like something like Spotify exists where a bunch of people will just play the song
Game Pass
and they'll get
exists.
like but you don't get people who put out games on Game Pass, as far as we're aware, don't get paid for every time someone plays a game on Game Pass.
They've got a good lawyer.
What are 343 doing at the moment? All right, Halo's gone.
Yep.
They're not working on anything.
Ruined. It's horrible. You've heard all the people on that subreddit. It's a horrible game. Shouldn't have been released. Let them make a Christmas game.
You're right.
Make it a
100%.
Grinch game. Come on, 343.
Just give me a little. Well, I was going to say give me a little Halo Christmas DLC, but probably too close to the
They have
wire.
a Christmas event going on.
There is a Christmas event
Ugly.
going on right
It's
now.
ugly armor.
Destiny
I've
2,
heard
to
it's
be fair,
terrible.
always.
It's so ugly.
You have to log in every single day for the next 7 days, right? And play a match.
Yeah, that part's whatever. It's just one match. I don't think that part's like too demanding.
That's
or
all right
whatever.
for you who doesn't celebrate Christmas.
It's you have to get on and play one match.
Yeah, but
And cloud exists. So even if
True.
you're just like, I'm out with my parents in the middle of you got cloud fix. You were all, the cloud, it's amazing. You don't doesn't matter about lag because you just got to get on and play a match. You don't even got to win the match. You just got to play the match.
can we talk about cloud for a second? So
Yeah.
I did a thing for Jinx the other day, right? And I got on the train. I went to the Jinx Christmas party actually. Very good time. My first ever Christmas party ever. Remember when I promised you guys a Christmas party and we didn't do it?
New Year's party fix.
New Year's party. Yes, Chris, I like it.
we could do that.
But yeah, I got on the train with one of the editors there, and he was like, "Oh man, I'm buying a Stream Deck or whatever it is," and I was like, "Oh yeah. Nah." He's like, "You getting one?" I was like, "No, I've got my phone. I don't need that. Like, I can just play games on the train when I want." He was like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, I pulled out my cash key. Or Quiche car, or whatever it's bloody called. Kishi.
Kishi.
I literally pulled it out of my bag, plugged it all in, and I thought, this is not going to work. There's no way this is going to work. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to look so dumb right now. Turn on. It was like, play Halo. I was like, all right, cool. Pulled it out, started up a game, started playing multiplayer Halo. He was like, what? And he was like, all right, cool. Oh, whatever. It's like, play Hades. And I was like, you've picked 2 games on this service that I know work. Literally turn on Hades, start playing. And he's like, oh my God, we're in the future. I'm like, yes, sir, we are.
Whole new world.
Yes, sir, we are. Crazy. He was in shock. I suppose we better get on to the rest of the show because otherwise we're just going to sit here. Unless you've got something, Matt. You got something? There's no rules, mate.
No.
There's no rules. You can say
No,
whatever
no.
you like, you know. Just, you know.
I was
not-
just
not the bad
enjoying
words.
reminiscing about old PS1 games.
Shocker.
About old Xbox games, huh, Matt?
Well, what I was going to say, but it was going to go way back to a conversation we were having like 20 minutes ago at this point, of like it blowing my mind when we were talking about demo discs, when I got my 360 and was just like, everything has a demo.
Yeah, downloads
What?
and everything, right?
Yeah,
Everything has
everything
a
had
demo.
a demo back then.
I was like, man, that was insane. That was great.
I remember my dad's game shop was built off of that because like he's got like screens like across the walls with like consoles in like boxes and stuff
Yeah.
underneath, and literally just download demos all on them, and people just come in and try out demos all the time. And I was just like, bro, like what the hell? This is nuts.
Yeah.
Like crazy, absolute crazy. Let's get into Fix's Sack. And we got one that says, "Howdy, Potato Squad. Just wanted to shoot y'all a quick email to back up my Apple Podcast review you read on the show a few weeks ago under the username the same as my email. Turns out you weren't my second favorite Xbox podcast behind Unlocked this year. You were my number one. I knew I was loving the show, but surprised when I checked my Wrapped, and yeah, I listened on Spotify, but went on my way to leave a review on Apple Podcasts. I'm that kind of fan. Thanks a ton for all the good listening this year, and keep up the good work for next year. I'll be along for the ride. Happy holidays and a happy new year, Ryan." Shout out, Ryan. Ryan, we appreciate you. Yeah, I didn't.
You said
This one's also like a few weeks old at this
I know.
point.
What?
Yeah. Well,
I just wanna point that out.
we've been doing weird episodes.
Yeah.
true.
Halo and a few other bits and bobs. You know, it's been a bit of a mad one. But Ryan, we do appreciate you. The fact that you listen to this podcast more than Unlocked, I'm not sure why. I've got to be honest with you. We're just a bunch of schmucks that come here and talk to each other about games. But we appreciate it about the Grinch video game on PS2.
PS1 game fix. Come on,
PS1.
you already fact checked.
Sorry,
us.
you're right. I'm sorry.
In
I
that email,
apologize.
Ryan said, "I'm just that kind of fan, and that kind of fan, Ryan, is the best kind of fan.
That's
we love
facts.
you. We love you."
Maybe I'll give you some Game Pass one day, Ryan. Maybe one day. Hit me up on the DMs. We'll see what I can do. This next one says, "Hello, my Xbox and me crew." Doesn't, says hey, actually. "We have reached the month of December, and now the festive season is in full swing." We're at the end, I'm sorry. "I would like to ask, what are your favorite Christmas gaming memories? For me, in 2009, I asked for an Xbox 360, mostly games that were older and pre-owned, so it wasn't too expensive for Santa." What a good kid. At the time, we had a 360 console in the living room for us all to use, but my mum was concerned I would be hogging the console with all the new games I had asked for. Therefore, leading up to Christmas, I was led to believe I wasn't going to get the full 5 games I asked for Christmas. Morning finally arrived, and of course, I got all of the games I wanted. I was super happy and couldn't wait to start playing. I then looked over to my younger brother, had been gifted the Xbox 360 Elite. I didn't mind at all, as I would be getting the living room Xbox all to myself. But just as I was getting ready to put all my gifts away, out comes another present for me. I unwrapped it to see an Xbox 360 arcade console just for me. I wasn't expecting it in the slightest, and I was overwhelmed with happiness. Would love to hear your stories. Best regards, Lewis Glover. Sorry for the long email again. Never apologize for great stories like that. Man,
That's huge.
Can you imagine? Could you imagine like the up and down roller coaster ride that kids went through? "Oh, I'm not getting the games. Oh, I've got the games. Oh, my brother got a better Xbox than me, and I want my own one. Oh my god, I got my own Xbox!" Like that would be mad. But that story
100%.
alone confirms why I just want one kid.
So you don't have to play like, oh, I'm getting
not-
him
I'm
an
not dealing
Xbox.
with-
I gotta get my other kid an
I'm
Xbox
not dealing
too.
with it. No chance.
Well,
'Cause-
it's harder when you want an Xbox as well for yourself, right? And so now Dad's got to get one.
He's
too.
already got to play that 2 console game.
That's true.
And with Haley, it's gonna be a 3 console game, even though Haley's not gonna
Could you,
use her console.
could you imagine? Like, could you imagine? Like, I'm like there chilling, right? I'm just like, I've got mine. Haley's got hers, and then we've got a kid that's like, "Can I play Mums?" I'm like, absolutely not. Under no circumstances. I bought that for your mother, and he's like, "But she doesn't use it." I don't care. It's hers. You cannot touch it. You cannot look at it. You cannot. Haley said to me the other day, she's like, "Oh, well, if you've got all the consoles, like when we're older, like you could just give the kid like the one you're not using and out of the office." I'm like, "Are you crazy? What do you mean? Give the kid the one out of the office?" Bruv, tell him to go get a job. That's not my job, you know? Move yourself, fab. What's this rubbish?
Fix
this
can't wait to have a
rubbish?
kid and
Gotta grow up quick,
start
man.
teaching him Premiere and you'll
Bro.
have a freelancer on you in no time.
I need a thumbnail person so you can start with that, you know? Fucking bad time we got a job, the bum. You want to be a part of this family business? You want me to hand over MC Fixer Industries and my Xbox and me to you one day? Learn to edit, you bum. God. damn.
Not even born yet, and Fix is already telling him he's not doing enough for it.
Yo, don't sound like that.
You know what I miss?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. You know what I miss about the Xbox 360 that Lewis Glover here reminded me of? The detachable hard drive. I use that thing all the time. So me and my mates had 360s and be like, "Oh, you don't have this game? Pop off my hard drive, bring it over to your house."
We have
Great.
detachable hard drives
Hardly.
We do on the Xbox.
on the Xbox.
Oh, that's well.
We have
alright,
detachable
you're willing to
hard
spend-
drives.
Memory cards were a thing.
Yeah, but you may as well just buy another Xbox at that point.
I mean, if you want to be a negative Nancy, Matt, that's on you, yeah? I'm sorry. But some of us have
was just-
detachable hard drives. Some of
It
us
was also
wasn't
just
silly.
really well designed.
Some of us wasn't silly enough to
The way it, like, snapped
you
off
know.
I hated taking out that thing.
I
Why?
used to do it all the time. Once you've
so
learned how to do
easy.
it, it was fine.
Yeah, but it was just annoying. I don't know.
There was a detachable hard drive on all the 360s. Thinking about it, because even
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the Gears one you had, Crash, right? It had the pull draw one.
I
Oh
didn't
no,
have,
the Xbox
I
One.
didn't have Xbox 360.
The Xbox
I had
One, yeah.
Xbox One
I'm
S.
thinking of somebody else. It did have it on the 360. The Xbox One didn't actually. That didn't have a detachable hard drive because you had
No.
plugged in
That
USB.
had, but that's when it became like external hard drives.
Externals,
Like whatever external
yeah.
hard drives you use work on that. So still, you technically have detachable hard drives.
Technically,
But they're not like built into the console sleek like it was the 360. And I'm just reminiscing out here. Come on.
I'm not. You're allowed to reminisce. I'm not arguing against what you.
Well, but
thought.
only because I felt a little bit sorry for Lewis when he said he got the arcade version, which I think had like 3 gig.
literally
of
come with
storage
like
in
a
it.
memory
It was
card,
like-
didn't it?
They already had a 360.
Exactly.
I imagine
Exactly.
he took the hard drive from that.
But in the
100%,
same breath,
it's
you
not an
weren't
issue.
store. The only problem, the good thing about that, he had discs, so it weren't like where you were
Yeah.
storing the whole disc on. It was literally just playing the games. It was just saving data. It was only like demos and music and videos and stuff that would have been the problem. Speaking of all that, have you guys watched the Xbox documentary?
I haven't. It's on my list
Oh
of things to
my
do over the
God.
festive season.
I watched all 6 episodes. It is so
it good?
good.
How long are they?
They vary from like 30 minutes to 45 each episode.
Okay.
Yeah, me and Haley
that's
watched
long.
the whole thing. It was good. It was good. It was good. I needed more. Like, there are some fantastic stories in there. A lot of them I already knew, though.
Yeah.
Like they talk about the story of like them Xbox trying to buy Nintendo at one point and them getting
Yeah, yeah.
laughed out the room, like them being like,
Yeah.
"What the hell are you even doing here? Like, leave
Yeah.
Japan right now!" Like, but I think the thing that it did a great job of was putting a face to the people who created Xbox. Again, I wasn't an Xbox original kid; I was a PS2 kid. So hearing those stories of how like they had to like go into like a war, the Direct 11 team versus the Microsoft. Well, who was it? It was the Windows guys who were making games at the time, and they both had to present a console idea. And like, watch it. I haven't spoiled a single thing. Watch it. You're gonna get so much more out of it. It was a lot of history. Chris, you're not really a documentary guy though, right? So
No.
yeah, not even video game documentaries.
No, not really. Occasionally, I watch a documentary and it's cool, but
Yeah, this might be one worth watching.
if it wasn't 6 episodes, probably.
They flew by for me.
Yeah, because you like documentaries. You actually really like.
I love
documentaries.
I think it might be my
Yeah.
favorite form of film. Is that work? Video,
TV?
TV,
Genre of
What-
TV?
genre. We'll go with genre. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it might be. It's weird though, because I think Joe White is Crash because I can't read books. So I love information because I'm reading books is just like one word going in, one word coming out my mouth. Like it's just pointless. So I think that's why. But yeah, if you listen to if you watch the documentary, please let me know on next week's episode. So leave your questions for us.
Well, I was going to say you've jumped ahead slightly because our last question this week is from Corey the Gaming Butcher, who is exactly saying this. My question this week: have you guys watched the Arcane series on Netflix yet? If so, what did you guys think? Is this one of the best adapted pieces of video game to TV show? Really love the show, and now want to see a Dishonored series from those creators.
No, I don't even. The only reason I know what Arcane is because my friend Chocolate Kieran on YouTube has been doing reactions to it, I think. And they have blown. His channel went from 3K to 10.5K. He's gone like nice. Every single video he's put up's got over 100K of him reacting to. I think it's Chris, you can tell me because you're a League guy, right? It's the Arcane fan reacts to every League of Legends cinematic. What's that?
That's not acting too. That's not the
Netflix.
League of Legends has cinematics for the games, yeah.
Bro, how's he getting 100K on this shit then?
Right time to start putting out that content, I think. Because the thing is, like, talking about Arcane is like, there's a lot of people who are watching Arcane and then going to start playing League of Legends. Which, if you're one of those people, don't do it. Don't fall for that's a trap. Do not do it. It's not worth it. Trap. Yeah, no.
He did react to the Arcane as well, actually. Yeah, yeah.
That might have been where it started.
It looks like it started there, 5K, and then yeah.
Smart decision.
Trust me, literally, his channel was blown up. Like, I looked at his social blade the other day. He had like 7,000 subs in the last 30 days. I was like, how do I get on this shit? What do I have to do? How do I pretend to know what I'm talking about in this? But no, I haven't watched it. Have you watched it? You're a League guy, so.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. I've just been kind of busy. And they were releasing it weekly, I think like 2 episodes at a time or something like that.
Yeah.
So I kind of waited for them all to come out. And then by the time they all came out, I just didn't have time. And I've been watching The Witcher, the new Witcher season.
Oh, yeah, me too. I haven't watched that yet. I've been watching Superstore instead.
Superstore's great, man.
I love it, but the new season has just come out on Netflix, which is the last season, and they're all talking about COVID. I love how it's shot, and then they're talking about COVID, and I feel like while they were recording, it was like, oh, this will be over by the time this comes out.
Yeah,
we're still fucking here. We're still fucking here. Crazy.
Yeah, man. Are you guys excited and hopeful for the Halo TV show, or is it like it's been going so long?
No, it's going to be terrible.
I don't think it's going to be good. And the reason I don't think it's going to be good is because it focuses on Master Chief. I think the problem with like adapting stuff that already exists is that stuff doesn't translate to different mediums very easily. And I don't think the Halo story, and they're making like loose changes and stuff like that. I don't think it's necessary for them to make a TV show about that. I feel like they could have picked a different Spartan, a different story, and there's a lot of like lore for Halo they could have gone for like to explore more, and they decided, we're gonna do Master Chief, we're gonna retell his story, and it's like people already have a preconceived notion of what Master Chief is, and if you under-deliver on that, especially after Halo Infinite, where people are like, oh, Master Chief feels like a badass. If he isn't a badass in this TV show, it's gonna be bad for them. It's not gonna be great. On top of that, TV show's had like a bunch of murky stuff. Some scripts have leaked a few times, and people, fans of the franchise, are like, yeah, this isn't it. It's not going to be that great. So I don't have too much hope personally.
I guess my only thought on it is like, how difficult is it to write Chief? Like, I get that it's difficult to make those characters likable, and I found that through playing the games. It's difficult. I think the latest one has done it. Like, I like Chief as a character now, and I want to like see more from that. But yeah, like as long as you get the action right, I feel like you're probably onto a winner. And anything live action they've shown from the game.
I strongly disagree with you.
Really?
Yeah. The action to me, I don't give a crap about. Like,
but the action is so cool in those live action trailers. Like, it's badass.
I know, but like I'll be honest with you. Like, even like after no spoilers at all, not even one. After watching Spider-Man, I'm like. I couldn't give a crap about Spider-Man swinging and fighting. It's the same thing for most things for me. It's the story that you're telling and you're delivering. That is what matters to me. Chief running around punching things. I can see that in so many other mediums, like in terms of like a comic book can do that very well. Obviously video games, a YouTube video, a fan YouTube video can do that well. Like seriously, like what separates everything for me is story. It's giving me a deep and rich story. And again, I have never, until Infinite as well, I have never cared about Halo's story. And this was meant to come out back in the TV days. So for me, I'm like, you're seeing, if you go back and look at all the stuff that's come out since then. It's like, how has this been so bad? It doesn't help that it's on Paramount Central either, to be honest with you. Because anything else that gives you a hurdle to get to is 100%. Like...
Do you guys get that over there?
Nope.
No.
So no word whether you guys will even...
We don't know where it will be.
I'm sure somebody will buy it and they'll show it somewhere, but we haven't seen who yet. No. It'll probably be Sky, I would have thought, but...
Let's hope not. They already got everything else.
Yeah, let's hope not. Exactly. Put on Netflix. Make it easy.
I'm talking. I mean, I didn't speak about it here. And I suppose now is the right time. I watched the Resident Evil film.
How was that?
As we're talking about, like, have you seen it, Matt?
No, but I've. Yeah, I mean, the trailers were enough, I think, and
it's weird because I watched the trailer and I was like, my whole thing of the Resident Evil film was there was potential there. There's so much potential. Do you know what hurts the most? Is watching these very good actors have to work with absolute terrible writing. And as someone who's a dyslexic and can hardly read, if I know the writing's bad, the writing is really bad. That's when you know.
Do you think they were trying to lean into...
Yes.
Like Resident Evil, the games doesn't have great writing, right? And so they're trying to lean into that, and they just didn't.
It doesn't work.
They didn't make it.
Yeah,
it doesn't.
It's one of those things where you have to find a way to rework it and make it fit a different medium. And it's really...
Go on. Sorry.
It's really hard to do. Like, we see it happen all the time where TV shows and movies come out based off books, and people are like, this is horrible. It's not like the book material. Half the material is missing. It's like, you can't fit all that material because there's a lot of nuance and unspoken and unactionable stuff that you get in a book that you can never get in a TV show or a movie because it's just a different medium. And how do you translate that well? And that's really, really difficult to do.
It feels like a DC film to me in their early days of trying to build the DC universe, this Resident Evil film, where it's them going... We've got Resident Evil 1 and we have Resident Evil 2. Let's do both of those stories coincide with each other and make them interwoven. And it's like, it literally, to me, it was like, just do Resident Evil 1 again with the fan love that they had there, with the good actors and stuff like that. Let's flesh this out. Then let's do Resident Evil 2 and 3. Because Resident Evil 2 doesn't really have like a good bad guy. Like, it does, but... It doesn't have a good monster other than the liquor, really, and obviously Mr. T, not Mr. T, sorry, Mr. X. But like, if you were the mixed Nemesis in with that, I feel like that could have worked. But yeah, the writing was just terrible, and like what they did with the characters, again, they're entitled to do what they want with the characters. But watching what they did to Leon, not the actor, but what the writing did to Leon, I was just like, this isn't Leon. This isn't Leon at all. Like, yeah, it was hard to watch. But then there's little moments which we see in the trailer about, like, they allude to, like, Raccoon City. Not Raccoon City, sorry. They allude to the Crawford Manor and stuff like that. And I'm like, they know what they're trying to get to. And I'm like, but just get this right first, please. And they didn't, unfortunately. So.
There's definitely an issue with patience, right, in Hollywood.
Always.
Always. Yeah. And you know, like, my dad has never been into the Marvel stuff, but like was seeing the hype around Spider-Man and wanted to go. And so I was like, right, you need to watch the bare minimum really is like Homecoming, Infinity War, Endgame, Far From Home. And so you watched all them.
Yeah, you're right. That is the bare minimum. You're right.
That's the bare minimum, right? And then we went and saw No Way Home, and he loved it, and he was like, this is great. And so now this weekend we've watched Iron Man 1, 2, and Thor. And he's into it now.
Nice.
And he's like, I mean, because you're asking so much of your audience to be like, invest for 24 films and 6 TV shows or whatever it is now. And so, yeah, there is this weird thing of patience, right? And I think there probably people sat around a boardroom saying, well, people aren't going to watch 24 Resident Evil films or 9 Resident Evil films or whatever to keep up the games.
It's weird, though, because they don't need that, though, either. It was just like, give me a free film, give me a trilogy of good Resident Evil films. And I think that's what they're going for, and they're going to get there because it made money. And that's what upsets me the most, is it made back its budget in, like, I think it's open weekend or whatever. And I was just like, I keep rewarding this bad behavior. It feels like that. I know it's not bad behavior, but that's how it feels, where I'm like, You'll put it in front of me and I'll lap it up, no matter what it is. Resident Evil Versus still isn't out. When it comes, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna probably put money into skins. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm the problem. I'm part of the big problem here.
Yeah.
Sucks.
But sorry, go on, Crash.
It's kind of the difficult thing of where they plan out trilogies, but they never plan them out perfectly.
No.
Because like when you plan out trilogies, what I feel like a lot of people do is they plan out a whole story between them.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like you have to plan out each movie individually instead of like the whole story arc for the whole thing. I think that's kind of
that's what the MCU
problem
have
with,
done, right?
Yeah, well, the MCU started off as single movies, and they
Yeah.
transitioned into that really well, and they do a really good job. Kevin Feige, I think.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not the biggest Marvel movie fan anymore, Kevin Feige really the way he handles that is like a step above anyone else. I feel like.
Yeah.
In movies,
Do you think
we saw what DCEU decided to do? I enjoy those movies just because I like DC. It's not because they're like good movies. Like I like DC 100%. And I like these characters, and seeing these characters do things in live action is cool. But like the movies aren't that great.
That's why I don't like DC, I think. As I was saying before, where like the action isn't enough to get me through. Where like DC, I'm like, the action for you is. And for me, I'm like, this story is shallow.
Yeah.
Sorry, Aquaman. This story underwater is still shallow. We've got problems here, son.
Because in my head, I'm like adding stuff that I know from the comics and other mediums like onto these characters that they absolutely don't have. They don't have all that nuance. But in my head, I'm like, yeah, I know about Aquaman. I know like all the nuances. They show no nuance whatsoever. The movie pacing isn't that great.
Yeah.
To be fair, to like bring it back as well, like something that makes I think Marvel like easier, right, is that they have a ridiculous budget on these things, right? Like they have the Disney, you know, and so to bring it back to Halo, if anybody can put the money behind a show like this to make it awesome, surely it's Microsoft, right? Like, I don't know how.
Maybe we're wrong. Maybe we're wrong, and it is good. But
I would love for it to be good, you know. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean the CG and what we saw in the little teaser trailer, whatever they had, that looked really good.
Yeah.
It goes back to like, is CG enough? And our action scene, like honestly, I could see if it has like really good action scenes, that being serviceable for a lot of people. But like, can they keep up that level of CG?
I don't think they can afford for it to be serviceable, though, can they? Like, I don't think they can afford for it to be okay with how long it's been in the pipe and Steven Spielberg being attached and
and I
it's
think
not good enough.
I think Halo being on like the up and up also makes it more difficult it being serviceable. Right?
That's what scares me the
we're
most
still in Halo 5 era.
Yeah.
And this was better than Halo 5, but it wasn't that great. People have been like, oh, that's cool. This is the best Halo thing we've gotten in a minute.
Yeah.
Now we're coming off of Halo multiplayer, which could, on its own, could be considered Game of the Year. Then we're coming off Halo
100%.
campaign, which on its own could be considered Game of the Year. And then, whatever else we get to, it's crazy.
Very quick question for our Game of the Year discussion. Are we including those two things as separate things for our Game of the Year discussion?
That's a good question. Because they technically are.
So, yeah.
You have to pay for one and not the other. So, I think they probably should be.
They're separate. Yep. We would, if Fortnite came out with a story mode, and right now that would be a separate game. So, yeah.
I mean, Fortnite was viewed as a separate game from whatever their
What,
Save the World.
From Save the World and Battle Royale? You're right, yeah.
Yeah.
I pre-ordered that shit.
Oh my god, I feel bad for you.
I know.
I'm trying to think of. I had something I wanted to tell you both, but now I can't think of it. Huh. Well,
Halo, TV, Raccoon City, Resident
Best
Evil.
video game to TV show franchise, Pokemon.
That was the question, right?
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree. Maybe Yu-Gi-Oh. Maybe Yu-Gi-Oh. I loved Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh was a TV show before it was a game.
And also not a video game, right?
Yu-Gi-Oh was a TV
What do you mean
show
not a video game, Matt?
Yeah. What was the Yu-Gi-Oh video game?
Oh, loads, Matt. There's
loads of video games. There's also like a legit card game.
Loads. I'm talking.
I know it's a card game.
Bro, there was a Yu-Gi-Oh
There's a lot
game
of
on
video
the
games.
DS that was fire.
DS,
Really?
Game Boy Advance ones were fire. There was an old one on the PS1 that was fire.
Yeah, the PS1 one was fire. I had that.
Yeah.
I remember getting that. Absolute fire.
Yeah.
I remember falling out with Yu-Gi-Oh when I remember watching an episode where I remember seeing the character's hand and knowing that they could win, and then they didn't play the right card, and I was like, well, this is fucking stupid. They could have just won. And I was like, I'm out.
That would break it for me as well.
First of
Play to
all,
win, son.
First of all, the problem is that the Yu-Gi-Oh show changed its rules
Yes.
every single duel.
That's true.
Where they were like, we're gonna make this character do some unbelievable BS that can't happen in real life. Like he's gonna use a fire weapon, and even though the weapon doesn't actually do this, it's gonna be that monster's weakness.
I saw a TikTok the other day about Yu-Gi-Oh. It was a kid, like some guy, who was like Yu-Gi-Oh. Then I'm gonna play a trap card and put my monster in defense mode, face down, and then the second one is Yu-Gi-Oh now, and it's like I'm gonna play this card, I'm gonna fuse them together, this one, and I was just like, that's why I got out of Yu-Gi-Oh, you know? That's literally the reason I got out. As soon as you could start discarding things to infuse them and all this, I was like, nope, I'm out. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Bring back Dark Magician.
I remember, like being really into Pokemon and collecting Pokemon and stuff. I don't think I've ever played the card game. I don't even think I know how to play the card game.
Okay. So sometimes I think to myself, am I nerdy enough to be in this space? Because I don't freak out the way other people freak out, and I don't have the knowledge that certain other people have. But back in secondary school, I remember bringing my deck of Yu-Gi-Oh cards everywhere with me and turning up to school an hour early so I could go into the cafeteria and have Yu-Gi-Oh battles. You can't test my nerdiness if that counts. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
100%.
I got bullied a lot for that. It was really hard. Like I used to have kids come up to me like, "You're such a nerd. Like you're in the football team. Your dad owns a game shop. You're a rapper. You're meant to be cool. You're sitting here with fucking these nerds playing Yu-Gi-Oh." I'm like, "Fuck you. I love this shit. Leave
That's
me
when
alone."
you hit them with some Yu-Gi-Oh bars.
I should have, man. I should have. My blue eyes will take you out. It's that. Yeah, I should have done it.
It is absolute madness, though, how much that has shifted, right? Like that Spider-Man is all anybody is talking about. Like a nerdy ass Spider-Man film is all anybody's talking about at the moment. And like, you know, Halo Infinite is like hugely free to play mainstream multiplayer game. Like it's mad how much that's all shifted.
Do you know what I think it is? It's just the after watching the Xbox documentary, to bring it back to Xbox, if you're listening to this episode and you're still here, this is just me, Matt P, and Chris catching up at this point. This is just us catching up, and you're along for the ride, all right? But
100%.
Watching the documentary, I didn't realize how big Halo was until I watched that. They've got like an episode just on Halo, and they were talking specifically about like Halo 2 and the way they wanted to make it a Hollywood moment. And then it was like the biggest selling game at the time. It was like the biggest selling game ever. It was passing films, and that had never been done before. And I remember, I'm now sitting here, I'm like, yeah, we kind of take it for granted that everyone understands what a gamer is, quote unquote. Where back in the day, we were, well, at least I'll speak for myself, I was like bullied, and people would call me names for playing games, and oh, you want to stay inside and stuff like that. Now, you look at the kids of today, and they're like, don't start getting those, like, kids need to go outside and exercise. I understand that. But what I mean is, like, kids want to be YouTubers and want to talk about the thing they're most into nowadays. They don't want to be footballers. Like, to me, the way that has changed is wild.
Honestly,
so go on, Crash.
I kind of view it as sort of a shift of toxic masculinity. Like, don't get me wrong, it's still there, but, like, people I feel like used to get bullied a lot for not being super physical and all this stuff, and not being able to play a sport, be it football, basketball, whatever it is. And I think that's slowly shifted where it's become more acceptable. So not being into those things also is more acceptable, right? Because like you don't see people getting made fun of for like schools have league teams and all this stuff. Yeah. They're not getting bullied and stuff like that. As far as I'm aware now, somebody might be in a league team in one school and they'll be like, I get bullied like crazy.
I get bullied every day for being on this team. We're shit. We've not won a single game.
It's not because we play the game. It's because we're bad. We're just bad.
It's got nothing to do with the fact we're playing the game. It's that we absolutely suck. We've not won a game in 7 years.
I love that. I was gonna say, I think the epitome of it is like the past few years in like Dungeons and Dragons. Because like, I was like the nerdy comic book gamer kid in school, but I wasn't a Dungeons and Dragons kid. Like even I had something over those kids.
I remember.
But now I would love to play D&D. Somebody play D&D with me.
My uncle, who wants to see if we hit a Patreon goal, should we do an episode of D&D where we get a master in and we fucking do it on Patreon?
I would love to do that.
I'd be so down to do that.
All right, you've heard it here first. Anyway, I remember my uncle. My uncle to me is the epitome of what a nerd is. He LARPs, he plays D&D. That to me was a nerd. And I remember being around his friends all the time and being like, man, like we went airsofting. Like he's a nerd. To me, he was a nerd. And now, obviously, we talk all the time and stuff, and I'm like, man, you was like back in my day. I'm like, nah, you were so cool, man. Like you go to reenactments and shit, and you play D&D with your friend, and he's got his same body of friends, and they've got the same campaign they've been playing for like 20 years. And I'm like,
I know, so cool,
bro. What? Like, and there's something special about. I played D&D before, but there's something special about it when you're next to the people that you're playing with,
100%.
and you see that clog, that clog in their head go, and they're like, I'm gonna do this, and like making it happen. Mad. Absolute madness. Absolute madness. All right, boys. I mean, I guess we didn't get to what's been in our box. We didn't get to anything else. we could, it's an hour. We could keep going. What do you want to do?
I'm happy to keep going. I do need to run and get the charger for this laptop.
Let's just cut it. We'll talk about games next week. This has been a good one. Yeah.
You know, it's been like 3 weeks since we've talked about
I know. Bro, it's been 3 weeks.
I'm not saying we have to. I'm just saying.
I haven't checked the numbers.
Podcast unlocked in one person.
One person's unlocked.
There's not one person.
That's facts. Ryan. I think it was Ryan. Shout out to you.
It's all for Ryan.
This is my Xbox and Me, our weekly Xbox podcast. Thank you all for watching. We do appreciate you. Let's plug, and get ourselves out of here. Crash, what you want to plug?
The My Xbox and Me YouTube page, the My Xbox and Me Twitter page. Use the hashtag MXAM. People haven't been using the hashtag MXAM.
They haven't.
Use it. Tweet at us.
Yep.
If the show's getting uploaded late, tweet at Fix.
Tell us.
Like, bombard him with messages.
Crash does. I will admit that it's just my life has changed, so it's been very different for me. So that's why they've been going up on Sundays and the audio earlier. And I understand. I'm falling back. It will all change in the new year anyway. For January 1st, big things should be happening January 1st. Ooh. So be absolute ready for that. Matt P, what you got to plug?
We talked about it a lot at the top of the show, but get yourself over to Spotify, leave us a rating. That's brand new on there. Remember, hit the cog, mark all episodes as played. Then you can do your rating. We appreciate you all so much. And I just want to say as well, like, this is my first year on My Xbox and Me, and I've had an absolute bloody blast. And thank you all, everybody, for being awesome and welcoming in the Discord and all the bits and bobs. I've loved it, and I will still be here next year. Don't you worry about that.
We'll see.
Unless I get sacked.
Like,
we'll see.
New Year's comes. Matt's getting fired.
We'll see.
I've already written up a script for how I'm gonna fire.
We need our yearly performance review fix.
Yo, trust me. That's what I'm saying. Real business coming soon. Yeah. Did you guys not launch a new website or something at work?
Oh, yes, we
see,
did.
I pay attention to your life.
Oh my goodness, gracious me! The gaming segment of Tech Radar has split off, so now TRG is our new gaming-focused website. Tech Radar Gaming is an entirely separate, brand new thing. Go check it out if you want.
Are you a part of that or not?
I will certainly be helping out on bits and bobs. I mean, you can find me everywhere at this point. I'm on Games Radar and Tech Radar Gaming and T3 and Tom's Guide and Laptop Mag and. Oh my god, I'm just everywhere, mate.
Honestly, can I be honest? I don't understand what you do for a living.
I get that.
I generally don't.
More often than not, neither do I.
I respect that. I could I don't understand. The big thing I guess I'm pushing, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. Twitter? Let's go Twitter. Twitter.com/MCFixer. Doing some giveaways over Christmas. I'm working with, currently working with Jinx. We're giving away one of these. It is the Battlefield 2042 WD Black SNVMe SSD. So we're giving one of these away to one lucky Twitter, I guess. A tweeter. What do we call tweeters? Twitter fans? Followers, I don't know what we call them. I'm also partnering up with 2K and WWE, MPA 2K, sorry, to give away some other goodies as well. So you'll see that on my Twitch channel. I'm doing a sponsored stream for them real soon. So turn notifications on my Twitch channel. Yeah, man, I hope we can just keep on doing this podcast, keep on growing, keep on doing what we love to do, which is talking all things Xbox, number one, but not only Xbox, as you experienced from this episode, talking all things video games and nerdy. And I think that's something we're going to do in some capacity next year, 100%. We've heard you. We've heard a lot of people say they do enjoy these podcasts a lot when we're just talking. So whether it's something we're going to do Patreon exclusively and come out later or whatever the case is, we are going to make it happen. So keep it locked, keep on listening, keep on supporting. And until next time, from us here at My Xbox and Me, have a wonderful we'll say Christmas because we've got one more episode before New Year. So have a wonderful Christmas. Hope you get everything you wanted. And we will love you, leave you, and see you all later. Ho, ho, ho. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.